Hey guys, just a couple of quick heads up. First of all, sounds kind of quiet. It's the first time we've ever done this. Didn't have a microphone. If we do this again, if you guys really enjoy it, we'll make sure we get a microphone and do this well. Second of all, some of the JPEGs, the pictures are kind of blurry. That's because they were the best I could find. Sorry for that. Next time we'll try and find much better stuff. Finally, if you really enjoyed this, please like, share, comment, do all that good stuff so that we know that you want to see this more often. Maybe we'll do some Clash packs or open some Fat packs or whatever else. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you at Legends of Lore.
Welcome to Legends of Lore, our webcast of opening a box of Magic Origins.
We're actually just discussing if this is a podcast or a webcast.
Yeah, I think it's a webcast.
All right.
Yeah,
we'll
this
go
is
with webcast.
This is Steve Valdez.
Hey.
And I'm Jonathan Sohriakoff, and we will be now opening this box here of Magic Origins, and you guys will be able to witness the whole thing. All right. So, are you excited for Magic Origins?
I am very excited for Magic Origins. So, for the internet to know, I had a baby recently, and so I actually took off, just kind of skipped the entire
You had a
cons
baby.
block.
I had
We
a
both
baby
had
too.
babies.
Yeah, we had babies.
Yeah.
Not together. Not together.
The biology doesn't work that way, guys.
No, it doesn't. But we could adopt if we wanted to.
Yeah.
But anyway, so okay, this is what's coming next. They're gonna come out with Magic Duels, Intro Packs, Clash Packs, the Deck Builders Toolkit, Fat Packs, and of course Booster Packs, which is what we're opening right now.
You
This
can get all
just
of these
comes
at
in-
Legends of Lore. Of course.
Yes, of course. Yeah, come to Legends. All right. So here is the box. Isn't that beautiful? All right.
I really like the packs. I didn't know they were black. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like these.
I was sort of hoping that they were going to do the Modern Masters thing with the paperback.
Oh, right.
But this is fine. That's cool with me. All right. So Steve is going to open the first pack here.
So why don't you open one too, and we'll just
All right.
you can look through what's happening, and yeah. So let's see. It's a lot of really good stuff. I will say that there's clearly a lot of limited play that they want to do with Origins. There are probably at least 8 creatures somewhere around there that have no abilities at all. And I was looking at that, and it's weird. A lot of goblins coming back in Origins. So if you're a goblin guy, that's
Yeah, Steve likes to go right and look at every single card, the commons.
it builds tension.
I hate tension. All right, I go right for the rare. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go first because I'm already at my rare.
Go ahead, brother.
All right, so first rare, Evolutionary Leap. All right, this is a
Oh, yeah.
2 casting cost, 1 colorless, 1 green. It's an enchantment. All right, so you can only cast it as a sorcery, of course. It's got an ability that is 1 green, sacrifice a creature. That's the cost of the ability, and it says reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. What do you think of this card, Steve?
If it said put it into the battlefield and maybe cost 2 more, I would be way more interested in it. As far as just putting it into your hands, I don't know, that's tough.
Yeah, it's any mana cost though to cast it. So it's not like Collected Company where you can only But that's onto the battlefield though as well. So Collected
Right.
Company's way better than this card pretty much.
Yeah.
And you have to sack a creature to get a creature. It's kind of pointless. You almost want to sack a token or something, right?
Yeah, I found that in Origins there's actually a lot of sack outlet stuff coming, especially a lot with my token, the Thopters, plenty of Thopters. For example,
Ooh,
if
I got
had,
one too.
Yeah, if I had 8 Thopters in play, I'd happily sack a Thopter and see if I could pull into something better. So it could have use. It is only a 2 cost, which is nice, having the real low mana cost getting out there early. So there are possibilities with it. It'll see play, I think, but not great.
Yeah, I actually don't think it'll see a lot of play. I did get a few uncommons. Do you want to go to your rare first?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I got a Gideon's Phalanx, 7 cost, because we like being expensive here. Put 4 2/2 white knight creature tokens with vigilance onto the battlefield. The spell mastery. If there are 2 or more instant sorcery cards in your graveyard, creatures you control gain indestructible till end of turn.
Oh my gosh, this card is broken. Okay, so you get basically 8 power and toughness on the board for 7. And you can give all your creatures, if you have spell mastery, you can give all your creatures indestructible, which is pretty ridiculous. There's no other cards right now that are instant spells that can give all of your creatures indestructible all at once. I don't think. Is there anything in standard right now?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah. So this is just a pretty good card. You can imagine it's an instant, right? So you can cast it in response to combat.
Oh, actually, there is one, but it has the strive where it's like Johnny's something, but It's 2 to give a creature indestructible, then you can pay 3 to
Yes, you
continue
pay 3
going.
more. Yeah.
So
That's so expensive.
you
that
can, but
no
yeah,
one
so
would play
well,
that.
I mean, but then again, this is 7 cost.
Right.
And
Yeah,
that's
it is.
rough.
It is, but you also get 8 power and toughness on the board
There's
in
one
that,
word.
in that same moment, and they're indestructible.
Right.
Okay, so they're on the board, indestructible, blocking however many creatures.
That's the one word that makes this pretty worth it to me. Not, I don't know, but somewhat worth it is the instance. If this were a sorcery, no,
Yeah,
thank
no,
you.
it would be
I
crap.
wouldn't be
Yeah,
part of that,
no,
but
no one
yeah,
would be
so.
playing that.
Let's talk about the spell mastery mechanic for a second. What do you think about spell mastery, John?
If you're playing sorceries and you're playing instants, it's really good. Obviously, if you're playing a creature deck, it's not going to be as strong. So, what do you think of spell mastery, Steve?
I love it, actually. It's a pretty rare deck that's going to have 0 instants or sorceries in it. They're out there. They happen. I actually have a couple myself, but it's a rare occasion that will happen. So if you can get just a couple of things in the graveyard pretty quickly, maybe some 1 cost, like, what is there's an Origins card that it's basically the new Bolt, where it's like a 2 damage to a creature, but it's 3 if you have spell mastery.
I'm sure we'll see it.
Right. You get a couple of those out there, and all of a sudden, spell mastery works for all cards.
I think that Gideon's Phalanx is going to get a lot of play.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
I think a lot of people are going to play. I know it's expensive. It's 7 casting costs,
Right.
but I think it's going to get a lot of play. All right, so
Real quick, another thing that I saw in a lot of the Origins cards is card draw. Card draw is just kind of a thing right now, which is really good. So I have Healing Hands, gain 4 life, and draw a card. I am going to use this card. I have a life gain deck. I am going to play this card. So
I don't like that card.
draw a card, man.
No, I think
Card
it's
draw.
crap.
You
No,
need the
it's
card
a
draw.
sorcery. It's sorcery speed. Okay, you only gain 4 life. You draw 1 card. How many white spells cost 2 and you draw a card? And for 4 life. Now, I would rather play Butcher's Glee.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna help regenerate a creature. You're gonna gain probably more than 4 life, and you're gonna keep that creature presence on the board. Anyway, I just don't think that Healing Hands is in white. I know that Butcher's Glee is a black card, but
Right.
still.
You're going to have little pictures of these, although like
Yeah, yeah.
Butcher's Glee
Yeah.
is going to come up. So.
Right, and also
maybe right here.
we are in the shop right now, and
I
we
really
are
hope
open.
you can edit it so the cards are right here.
Oh yeah, right where over at Tarka.
Yeah.
It'll probably be like on the side or something. But
Maybe right here.
the shop is open right now, so if we have a customer come in, we might have to pause the video, just FYI.
Oh, right.
I forgot to mention that before.
It's
Okay.
going to be weird if the card, like that your JPEG is going to be nowhere near where I am, and I'm just doing like this all over the screen.
we could just both do I don't know, there's a dance or something, right? I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
Yeah,
John.
let's keep going. Yeah, this is gonna take forever. All right, so I have a rare here because I went right to my rare again.
Right.
Dark Petition. It's a 5 casting cost, 2 black, 3 colorless. It's a sorcery. Search your library for a card and put that card into your hand and shuffle your library. It's a tutor. We have a tutor in standard. It's an actual spell, not a creature spell. So that's pretty cool. It also has Steve's favorite ability, Spell Mastery. In this
This is
case,
a broken spell mastery in my opinion.
yeah, I agree. If there are 2 or more instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard, add 3 to your mana pool.
Dark Ritual. Its spell mastery is you
Yeah.
get to tutor a card and then play a Dark Ritual.
Yeah, so you get a tutor for 3. So basically, this is a 2 casting cost tutor. If you have 2 sorceries or instants in your graveyard already, that
Right.
is ridiculous. We haven't seen a 2 casting cost tutor in a long time. So that's really good. I mean, what's the closest 2 casting cost tutor?
Well, there is an actual 2 casting cost tutor, but
Yeah,
it
it's
is-
demonic tutor,
yeah,
right?
but
Isn't that the only one?
Yeah, I mean, best we got other than that is Infernal Tutor, which has its Hellbent, which Hellbent is an old mechanic of the original Ravnica block of if you have no cards in your hand. It's a 2 cost, but usually you don't be able to look for a card that you already have. The Hellbent is you can go look for any cards you want. So.
All right, we're going to take a pause really quick here. And we're back. All right, so I was just mentioning to Steve here about this other card. Where is it? Zendikar's Royal. In my hand. Yes, it's right here. Zendikar Royal. It's an uncommon. It seems like they brought landfall back, but it's not. It doesn't actually say landfall, so they're not using landfall. It says whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 2/2 green elemental creature token onto the battlefield. It's an enchantment.
I mean, this starts combos. So there's another, and we're talking broken cards here. another card in Origins. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a green and X, and you look at the top X cards of your library and put all lands revealed that way into play, tapped.
Yeah,
But it has-
Nissa.
Yes, but it has spell mastery of they come into play untapped. So you have that with Zendikar's Royal in there.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that combo. That's really good, actually.
It's ridiculous is what it is.
And also, if you're playing Devotion green, this has 2 green and its mana cost, so that's 2 more Devotion right there.
Yes.
This would be great. You could probably play this turn 4, turn 3 if you're playing green Devotion.
Yeah.
You could easily play this turn 3 or 4, and then Nissa the next turn, put a land, and you know how Nissa works. So hopefully we'll pull them. We'll talk about it some more.
I got a Days Undoing.
Oh, nice. That's like a $15 card right
You
now.
want to top cards that are going to get played. Man, so each
This
player
card is gonna get
shuffles
some
his or her hand and graveyard into his or her library, then draws 7 cards. If it's your turn, end of the turn. If nothing else, the drawing 7 cards thing is redonky dunk. Do people still say redonky dunk?
No, people
Okay.
don't really say
No.
funky.
So it's ridiculous. It's insanity. I'm 32. So
Hey, I'm only 31. I'm younger.
that's
Boom.
true. But so especially in blue, I think there's going to be a lot of is it play, a lot of red-blue going on with Origins now, and so you're going to be burning through a lot of your hand, wanting to get that spell mastery in there, getting rid of your hand. You play a Days Undoing,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get 7 new cards in there.
I want to talk about this card actually
Yeah, go
because
ahead.
we were already playtesting this card a little bit here in the shop. Obviously, it's not released yet, but after the pre-release, we had a few of these cards, and someone was playing. I think it was an Esper deck. It was blue, black, white, and they played this card, and it helped me way more than it helped them. Like way more. Like I had practically no cards in my hand at the time, so drawing an extra 7 when he had to discard, I think it was like 3, was actually way in my advantage. I ended up winning that game when he played this card. So it can go terribly bad. Just know that if you're going to play this card.
Be wise with your Days Undoing,
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly.
Be wise with your Days Undoing.
Most death.
So
People say that?
I got no,
No?
not
Okay.
since like 1990.
Okay,
So.
alright.
I've already got 2 foils here, but just the common and uncommon. So got a Macabre Waltz and a Malakir Cutblade. So yeah.
I actually am already playing the Malakir Cutblade in a deck, which I like.
Coldblade, Malakir
Coldblade?
Coldblade.
Oh.
Coldblade.
Well,
So, ooh, Nissa's Revelation. So that's where I got here. Scry 5. Reveal a top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you draw cards equal to its power, and you gain life equal to its toughness. So, green, as you all know, has ridiculous creatures in it. In green, the 7 cost is not that big of a deal. You can probably get 7 4th, 5th turn. The Scry 5, get a huge creature, put that on top of your library. Card draw. I was already talking about it earlier. A lot of card draw, a lot of really good stuff going
Yeah,
on there,
yeah.
and then the life gain on top of that.
yeah.
I like this card.
We're
It's a
seeing
good
a
card.
lot of stuff that would be really good in Mono Green Devotion right now. Speaking of something that would be good in Mono Green Devotion, obviously this is
sorcery.
a sorcery and would not count towards your devotion. But then again, it is like Collect a Company in that it'll bring some good creatures into play. I pulled Herald of the Pantheon, which is a 2/2 creature, 4/2, 1 colorless, 1 green. It's a Centaur Shaman that says enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So your enchantment spells cost less, and whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain a life. I think this card would be really, really good with what's
Hero
it called?
Heroes.
Hero of Aroas, yes, okay, fine. What's that green card that everyone wants to play? It's a Centaur. It has 2 green and 1 colorless. And it reveals the top card of your library.
Oh, see, I know what you're talking about now too. You're gonna have a picture of it right here while we're thinking about it. Courser Crucifix.
Yes, Courser Crucifix. This
Yeah.
card would be great with that. Because you're adding a green devotion, obviously. You're revealing the top card, and Centaur,
Gains a life when you put a land in play.
and he's an enchantment.
Oh yeah.
So he's
That's
going
right.
to cost 2 to cast, and every time you play an enchantment, you gain a life. You're going to be gaining life from the Courser, and you're going to be gaining life from Herald. I think this is going to see a ton of play.
I agree.
This card is great.
I have a Risk the Redeemer Voltron EDH, and getting Hero Heroes and the Herald of Pantheon Herald of the Pantheon out there, getting all my enchantment spells that cost 2 less, and being able to, pile up and gain life when I'm doing that as well. Very good card. I'm a big fan of
Do you
it.
play 4 of that card in a deck?
Depending on the deck, I might. Probably 3 more than 4,
Yeah.
but it would
Also-
have to be an enchantment-based deck.
Also, Boon Satyr is an enchantment that
Boon
would be
Satyr.
great with this.
Yeah, especially
Okay.
with the flash ability.
So not only would his bestow cost 1 less as well? Because that's a casting cost, right? And it's an enchantment spell.
I don't know. I think so, actually. I think you're correct, yes.
Maybe.
I will say, definitely, if you have a Constellation deck, you want Herald of the Pantheon.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah. All right. So next packs.
What do you think about Undead Servant?
Okay, I've got a lot to say about this. I already put this in a deck. I put 4 cards of this card in my deck. Maybe I'm just the most unluckiest person in the entire world, if that's a thing. This, every single game, I would draw 1 of. Every game. I never drew 2. So, I never got to use his ability. Not saying that it could never happen, but, it's one of those 1 in every 100 games you're going to draw, like, all 4.
Mhm.
Like, it's going to happen eventually, but the amount of times that it doesn't happen is just not going to be worth it. If you don't know what this card does, it's a 4 casting cost, 3/2. It's 1 swamp and 3 colorless. It's a zombie. When Undead Servant enters the battlefield, put a 2/2 zombie creature token onto the battlefield for each card named Undead Servant in the graveyard. So this not only has to be in play and then go to the graveyard or somehow discarded to the graveyard, but to have 3 of these in the graveyard and really get that maximum, it's just probably going to be really hard. Your best bet was, did you say, what was
So
it?
it's a modern card, so you're not going to be able to play
yeah.
in standard, but a Body Double. So Body Double's a pretty cool card that it's like a clone where it comes into play as a copy as a creature, but it
Yeah.
copies a creature in a graveyard.
Clone would work if you had one of these in the graveyard.
No, in play.
No, I wasn't done.
Oh.
So if you have 1 in the graveyard and 1 in play, you can clone Undead Servant. Clone would enter as a copy of Undead Servant, and then you would still get your... But the thing is that with clone, you have to have 1 in play. And to reap the benefit of the 2/2 zombie, you have to have 1 in the graveyard as well. So it's just, I don't think I will play that card.
No.
Maybe that is why it's a common.
I think again. So we got like a lot of sack outlets coming in Origin. So I have like the Blazing Hellhound here, and there was another one. Maybe I don't have another one, but
Okay.
there's a lot of different things that are asking you to sack creatures, and so I could see it getting some play, maybe some limited or even standard play
Possibly.
with a sack engine.
Yeah.
You're trying to get more into your graveyard, and so you put those guys in there.
Yeah.
Gives
No,
the
if you're playing a
benefits of,
zombie deck, I could definitely see that because your zombies are going to be coming back from the graveyard, and that one specifically you're going to want to keep in your graveyard. I also got this uncommon elemental. This is one of those dual colored cards. It's
Yep.
red-green. It's called Zendikar Incarnate. It is a elemental whose power is equal to the number of lands you control. So, lands, not mountains, not forest, lands. So you have, let's say you have 12 lands. This is a 12/4.
Again, we've got to find the rare. We'll pull it. I'm sure we'll pull it at some point that allows you to put all those lands into play. He's a 4 cost, so you're playing green. That's a 3rd turn play or whatever. But you're just getting this flow of land into play. You have the Zendikar's Royal, and so you're putting in all these 2/2 elementals. You have this guy on the field who's going to be huge. I think green-red is going to be kind of a big deal.
Yeah, green-red ramp aggro is
Yeah.
going to be pretty strong. It already is pretty good right now. Also, just got a Cave of Koilos.
And I
Everyone
have a
knows what
Yavimaya
this is.
Kois.
So yeah, we're just going to put these down because everyone knows what those are and no one wants to hear about it. So, oh, I want to talk about this. Undercity Troll, okay? They said that that Thrun was the last troll. Liars.
But
this is
we're
a
going,
troll.
We're going back
It's
in
even-
time.
It's even green. Yeah, okay. Yes, okay, so we went back in time, but all of a sudden there's a new troll? Why wouldn't there be an old troll? I guess the timeline.
Yes.
The timeline. Okay, so the timeline changed. I'm really happy about this troll, and I'll tell you why. I have a commander deck, and there is not enough trolls in Magic. There are seriously, like, very few trolls, and I was building a tribal troll deck. This is going in that deck.
Tribal trolls are damn. They're actually really awesome, but that's why
Tribal trolls are awesome.
I don't have a tribal
Every
trolls
troll
deck,
has
so-
regenerate. I don't know if you know that about trolls, but trolls all have regenerate, and that makes them awesome.
So cards that will get play in standard, Elvish Visionary. Yes, sir. So it's a 1/1 for 2, but when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. Going back to the card draw. Elvish Visionary is going to see play. Pick up some of those.
Yes. Oh yeah, green draw for sure. Yeah, Elvish Visionary is going to see play. Most definitely.
Hey, we got got our first foil rare here. Infinite Obliteration. I am so excited for this card. Name a creature card. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. Then that player shuffles his or her library. Broken.
For three,
yeah.
For
2
three.
black,
This
colorless.
is so good. Oh my
I
gosh.
love it. Okay, so I have a deck that's being constructed right now that it's based all on that mechanic. I have like Memoricide, Shimmy and Spirit Guide. There's a lot of cards that do that where either you name a card or you pick a card in a graveyard or whatever it is. You search a player's entire library for copies of that card and you remove them from the game.
Foil rare. This is going to be worth something, actually, I think.
Yes, I think so
Infinite
too.
Obliteration is an awesome card. The best thing that they have right now was, what is it? It's the 5 casting cost one, where you name a card. This is only creature, though.
yeah.
You can only name a creature, so you can't
Still.
name any card. Still, really good,
Good
though.
stuff, yeah.
I pulled Jace, or at least a picture of Jace. This is Talent of the Telepath. It's got a picture of Jace on it. It's a sorcery. It is a 4 casting cost, 2 blue, 2 colorless. Target opponent reveals the top 7 cards of his or her library. You may cast an instant or sorcery card from among them without paying their mana cost. Then that player puts the rest into his or her graveyard. And it has Spell Mastery. So, Spell Mastery is, if there are 2 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, you may cast up to 2 revealed instant and or sorcery cards instead of 1. This is going to see some play. I think, yeah, I mean, it's only a 4 casting cost. What do you think about this card?
It would help if I was paying attention to you right now.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's rude. He's not paying attention.
Sorry, I was looking at my rare that I had just pulled and whatnot. But oh right, no, I do remember that card now. Yes, especially with the Spellmaster mechanic, you can be expecting a whole lot more instants and sorceries being in decks just as is, and so being able to grab some extra cards from your opponents and be able to play them, that's nice. It's really nice, especially when it's 7 cards. For like 3 cards, there's a good chance you're not going to find anything, but top 7, that's pretty good. Soulblade Djinn was the rare that I pulled. I think it's good. I think it's going to see a little bit of play, but I think people like it because it's basically prowess. 4/3 flyer. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. So this doubles your prowess in a prowess deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I love the most about Soulblade Djinn is flavor text. I'm kind of a flavor text nerd. He grants endless wishes as long as you always wish for a blade.
Well, then I'll keep wishing for blades.
Right.
Oh!
Wait,
Oh!
before I know, wait,
Okay, go
before
ahead.
you get to that.
You go.
John and I were talking a lot about Eros' Champion, and I love this card. It's a 2/2 double strike, a red, white, and a colorless. So it's the real red-white aggro that was really big in Theros. So if you have like a red-white heroic aggro deck, having a double strike creature that you get out 3rd turn and then just pump the crap out of it is going to be really nice. So you know, Eros' Champion with a hero of Eros, I think that's going to be really cool. I might build a deck out of that. So
I just pulled Gaia's Revenge.
that's the one we've been talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
No,
Gaia's.
it's not.
Oh, maybe not.
No. I was thinking the land one.
Oh,
No,
oh,
but
okay, okay.
This is one of the type of cards I was talking about earlier, but go ahead. You
Yes, okay,
finish
Gaia's
that.
Revenge. It's a 7 casting cost, 8/5 creature. Okay, it's an elemental. Gaia's Revenge can't be countered. Okay?
Take that, blue.
Yeah,
Suck it.
It can't be countered. It has haste, so it attacks right away for 8. Boom, if you wanted to, of course. And Gaia's Revenge can't be the target of spells or abilities that are non-green. Or from non-green sources. That's
so
awesome.
it's like non-green Shroud. So
Yeah, so you're like, oh yeah, I want to counter that. No, you can't, okay, because that's a blue spell. First of all, it can't be countered. Then, second of all, you want to Hero's Downfall it. No, you can't, okay? Because that's not a green spell. It doesn't have flying, so you can't destroy it with all the green destroy target creature flyer spells. You know what I'm talking about. So, this card is going to see some play. I like that card.
So
It's expensive, it's
I
7,
am
but...
so on that card. I was talking to John earlier about there are a lot of things in Origins that would be awesome if they just had one more thing, you know, like some really cool renown cards that if they had vigilance, it would be really nice, or spell mastery specific. But this one, Gaia's Revenge, is trample away from being spectacular.
Pretty much.
It does not have trample.
Give it trample. Just
You can
give it trample.
You can give it trample, but it doesn't have trample. So that, for me, that's the deal breaker for me in Gaia's Revenge.
I pulled one more card. It's a common. It's Celestial Flare.
I love Celestial Flare.
You love Celestial Flare?
Fair. And flares.
Flare. Oh, Celestial Flare is an instant 2 casting cost white. Okay, so it's 2 white actually to cast this. Target player sacrifices an attacking or blocking creature. Awesome card. Okay, this is sort of like Crackling Doom, I guess, in a way. It's a white sack spell, which is sort of weird for white.
More than anything, what I love about this card, especially in EDH, it gets around hexproof on, you know, Voltron EDH decks. So they attack with the general one shot, but you're targeting the player, and they have to sacrifice their one attacking creature. So
awesome thing about this card I was looking up earlier today. Target player sacrifices attacking or blocking creature. This is an instant spell. So during combat, you can cast this at the end of combat, because technically those creatures are still attacking at the end of combat, as long as you're still in the combat step. So you could block, 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 wait for damage to be dealt, wait until all their creatures die except their big creature, and then play Celestial Flare. After damage is dealt, you could take the 8 damage or however much damage they're dealing to you, and then make them sack their big creature with this card.
It's very nice.
So it's a pretty cool combo.
I pulled Displacement Wave, which I also call Take That Thopters. It's 2 blue and X, return all non-land permanents with converted mana cost X or less to their owner's hand. There's a crap ton of the Thopter tokens coming out, and so X can be 0. So you can just play 2 blue and wipe the board of Thopters. But even still, with the amount of aggro decks that are out there, with a lot of cheap creatures coming out into play, this is a really good card to be able to jump out there and just say, all right, hey, you got all your tiny guys that you pumped into whatever amount. Too bad their converted mana cost is still less than 2 because they're all going back to your hand.
We're going to see a ton of Thopter decks now. Blue Thopter decks with with Insole Artifact.
Yeah.
We're going to see a ton of that.
Oh, that I didn't even think about Insole Artifact.
Yeah, Insole Artifact, Darksteel. We're going to see a ton of Thopters. There's got to be like at least 7 or 8 cards that just came out of Origins that are focused solely on Thopters.
Displacement Wave, sideboard, Take That Thopters.
Yeah, well, I'm actually thinking about building a Thopter deck, so I don't like that. Just ignore what he just said. No, I'm just kidding.
So, on, again, flavor text nerd thing, Turn to Frog, it's a classic. If you don't know what it is, a creature loses all abilities and its power toughness becomes a 1/1. Flavor text is Ribbit. I love it.
Ribbit. Okay. I pulled Priest of the Bloodright. Alright, this is a 5 casting cost 2/2. Wow, that's a really expensive 2/2. Its ability better be really good.
Yes.
When Priest of the Bloodright enters the battlefield, put a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying onto the battlefield.
I want one.
Yeah? Yes, please. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 2 life. That's the only thing bad about it.
But, okay, so here is what you're supposed to do with this. Remember we were talking earlier about the amount of sack outlets that are out there.
Yeah.
So this guy hits the board, you get your 5/5 demon in play, 5/5 flying demon, and then you use
He's
your
totally sackable.
Blazing Hellhound and sacrifice
Because
him.
after he comes into play, he's worthless.
Right, but then you use, there's graveyard recursion in this, so you take all kinds of stuff that puts stuff in the graveyard back in your hand and play, and you just keep cycling this guy over and over again.
Or play Tormented Thoughts, which is as an additional cast to cast Tormented Thoughts, sacrifice a creature. Target player discards a number of cards equal to this creature's power. So you can make them discard by sacking a creature. There's a lot of different sack effects that are in play.
What I'm going to be doing with Priest of the Bloodrights is I have a Flicker deck with things like Conjurer's Closet, Flicker, Cloud Shift, things like that in it. And I'm just going to be boom, 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 boom. Oh, it's not standard. This is, it's an EDH.
EDH, okay.
And so I'm just going to be boom, boom, putting like, flooding in 5/5 black. Uh-oh.
I want to go now. Can I go?
Want to go?
Yeah,
you can go.
I pulled Kytheon.
Oh, hey!
I pulled Gideon.
Nice!
Boom! Gideon,
Woo!
Battle Forged. All right. He starts as a legendary human soldier for 1. He's a 2/1. All right, so you can totally play this guy as your commander in Commander. Or if you're playing Tiny Leaders, he costs 1, so he's totally a commander in both. Awesome card. Awesome.
Oh, hey! But in my pack, I pulled, there's a fancy,
You like that?
what do you call it? Yeah, oh, you got one too. What do you call these things? I don't know what.
Proxies,
thank you.
They're proxies
Fancy
for your
proxy
flip
for
cards
it.
because
Yeah.
you don't want their back showing on your see-through sleeves, or if you're not using sleeves. So you use this, you mark the card that you want. Anyway, so I was
Lesson learned,
saying,
kids,
I was
don't show
explaining,
people your backside.
I was explaining Gideon.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Kytheon, Hero of Akros, he changes his name when he flips, by the way. At the end of combat, if Kytheon, Hero of Akros, and at least 2 other creatures attack this combat, exile Kytheon, then return him to the battlefield transformed under his owner's control. Okay? Pay 3 to make Kytheon indestructible. You can do that as many times as you want in a turn. I don't know why you use it more than once. I guess that's why it's not a tap ability.
So he's extra indestructible.
I'm gonna make him indestructible 3 times for 9 mana.
the most indestructible.
Alright, so we flip Gideon Kytheon to Gideon, and he's got 3 abilities. All 3 are amazing. Okay. +2, up to 1 target creature an opponent controls attacks Gideon. Battle forged during its controller's next turn if able. So you can force your opponent to attack him.
So if he
Or
has a
the
giant creature or whatever else, yeah, make it not attack you, attack Gideon. A lot of uses.
Yeah, totally. If his +1, until end of turn, target creature gains indestructible. Untap that creature. That's awesome as well. So you have a blocker, an indestructible blocker for him every single turn. Or a 0 ability. He doesn't have an ultimate, so like his 0 ability is just another awesome ability. Until end of turn, Gideon Battleforged becomes a 4/4 human soldier creature with indestructible. That's still a planeswalker. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to him this turn. So he's an indestructible planeswalker creature? There's planeswalker creatures? He can turn into a planeswalker creature.
He did that before.
He
I
did.
don't know if it was a planeswalker creature, but okay. So here's my thoughts on Kytheon / Gideon.
I guess I didn't know about that.
I want to play him for Kytheon. A 2/1 that you can make indestructible for 1. I want to play him.
You make it indestructible for 3.
Or for 3, yeah. But he's a
For 1.
he's
One
cost,
casting
yeah.
cost. Yeah, sorry.
For 1 casting cost. You play him. You give him double strike. I mean, forget the fact that he can flip into Gideon. That's just like icing on the cake.
Icing, yep.
I was about to say gravy on the cake. Don't eat gravy cake, guys.
Gravy. I don't know.
That's just icing on the cake.
I don't know. Gravy cake sounds pretty good.
But
that sounds a lot like biscuits and gravy. Well,
That's
with like sugar
disgusting.
mixed in. That sounds really good.
Don't. But Kytheon by himself is a really playable card. I am a fan of this. Quite a bit a fan of this. I got an Alhamrit High Arbiter, 5/5 flyer for 7. When he enters the battlefield, each opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose the name of a non-land card revealed this way. Your opponent can't cast spells with the chosen name as long as he's on the battlefield.
Nice.
So that's nice, good control. It's a 7 cost. That's pretty rough, especially in blue 5/5 flyer. What I love most about Alhamrit is the puns. There's a loose nail.
That'd be a good
It's
combo
okay.
with that.
I'll hammer it.
I'll hammer it. I'll hammer it.
You know,
Wow, you're good on puns there, Steve.
I am.
You're like a pun expert.
Was that you something a pun there?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you're a pun expert.
You're like a pun expert. I was like Punisher. Go to the penitentiary.
Oh my gosh, they reprinted this token. It was originally from Ravnica.
Oh,
The girl soldier tokens. I don't know if
Yeah.
you knew this or not, but if you take Precinct Captain and you look at Precinct Captain, it is the exact opposite of this. So instead of seeing a woman with a man in the back, you see the man with a woman in the back. So that's pretty cool. Anyway.
Calculated Dismissal is one that I love / hate depending on who's playing it. I mean, we all know that the blue mana symbol could just be replaced with a troll face. But counter target spell unless the controller pays 3. It's a leak. You can leak and then scry 2. Great in blue, being able to get those exact cards you want on top. That's a really good card. I enjoy it.
I pulled something which I think is pretty good actually.
Okay.
Graveblade Marauder. It's a 3 casting cost, 2 colorless, 1 black. Human warrior creature. Has Death Touch. It's a 1/4. Okay, so it's a pretty good wall.
Yeah.
Decent. No one's going to want to attack with a 1/4. Well, unless you've got something bigger. In any case, it's Death Touch, so you're going to deal out 1 damage
Right.
unless they have first strike. And he has an ability. Whenever Graveblade Marauder deals combat damage to a player, that player loses life equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. I'll go ahead and just mill 20 creature cards into my graveyard and attack for 1, you're dead.
Yeah. And again, the sack thing is going to be a big deal. Trying to get as many creatures into your graveyard, reap the benefits of all that stuff being there. So for all the class, I've been playing since Magic started back in '93. Classic stuff. Goblin Pile Driver. Gotta love it. I love that they brought back the original art too. They didn't do something new with that. So if you don't know what Goblin Pile Driver is, he's 2 cost. He's pro blue, and whenever he attacks, he gets +2/+0 for every other attacking goblin. It's ridiculous when
I
you
can't
just
believe they put this in
piling in
with
Goblin
Rabble
tokens.
Master.
Yeah,
Those
exactly.
two should not be in standard at the same time. Like, come
It's gonna
on,
get
Magic the Gathering
ridiculous.
Wizards. What are you thinking?
So you can most definitely expect to see some mono red.
Oh man,
Goblin decks.
I've already seen enough of this card. Okay, like and it's not even released yet, and I've seen enough of this card. Okay, I pulled. I know it's really good, but the Great Aurora.
Great Aurora. Aurora.
The Great Aurora. All right, so it's
I love this card.
it's a 9 casting cost sorcery, so I don't like it for that reason.
But it's green. 9 casting
It's a
cost. might as
mythic
well be
rare.
5.
Why are all these like high casting cost, always mythic rares that no one ever plays? Okay, maybe someone will play this. Let's read it. Each player shuffles all cards from his or her hand and all permanents he or she controls into his or her library, then draws that many cards. Each player may put any number of land cards from his or her hand onto the battlefield. Exile the Great Aurora.
It's just, you know what, this isn't going well. Let's try this again. Like, that's really all that's happening here.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like a restart button. It's like I guess they Crux of Fate all of my mono green devotion, and now I have 9 mana and I don't know what to do with it. How about Great Aurora?
It's kind of ridiculous. It's weird. If you have time, or maybe we can put the things up here. Cards like Warp World, Wheel of Fate, just things that like completely mess with the board for no other reason than to be a troll. I love them. I don't play them. I just think they're hilarious. I love the flavor of them. So.
I feel like my friend Joel would play that card. Yeah, he's such a jerk. No, I'm just kidding.
I think you would
Love you, Joel.
too. Okay, so as long as we're going in cards that are going to see a whole lot of play, Honored Hierarch. 1 cost green with Renown 1. As long as he's renowned, he has Vigilance and tap to add a mana of any color to your mana pool. So good to be able to get that 1 cost. Hopefully you get him as a 1-drop first turn. You attack that first turn, you get your damage through, and all of a sudden, and the Vigilance as well, you can keep attacking with him, you can keep pumping him up, and then your second main phase, be using him for his mana abilities. I love this guy. I'm going to be getting a playset of him. I see a lot of people doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Mana of any color, really convenient.
Yep, Honored Hierarch. Pretty good. Okay, I just pulled a Foily Forest and a Llanowar Wastes, so basically crap.
You get a lot of foils. How many foils are you supposed to get in a box usually? I feel like you're supposed to get like 4.
I don't know if there's a set amount, is there?
Well,
I know there is.
There's
for
a
the
statistical
mythics and-
amount, not a set.
Right.
You're
I mean, there's
statistically
been
supposed to
people
get-
that have pulled like every single one
Right.
was a.
Statistically, you're only supposed to get 1 foil rare. You're only supposed to get like 4 foils. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think we've gotten 6 foils. But, oh my goodness.
That's what we should do. We should lay out our rares, and whoever gets the better rare gets to talk about their.
I know
rares.
theirs first. You win, but
Animus
yours is better,
Awakening.
but this is the one that I've been talking about.
Why don't
I
you
finally
talk about
found it.
Animus Awakening?
Okay,
because
so
you've been talking about that.
Animus Awakening is the one that I've mentioned like 18 times now because I'm such a fan of this. Reveal the top X cards of your library, put all lands from among them onto the battlefield tapped, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If there are 2 or more instant or sorceries, so the spell mastery is untap those lands. So it's a green and then X. So let's just pretend first turn you get Forest, Llanowar, and then second turn you just do Forest, 2 green. You play it for 3. That's not that big of a deal.
Right.
Top 2 cards are lands. You have 4 mana on the board, and
Second turn.
yeah, well, third turn you'd have 5, and just
Right.
as easy as that. Late game potential is huge, especially with the spell mastery in there. So I again play set of that card.
We got Orbs of Warding, which is a 5 casting cost artifact. It says you have hexproof, and if a creature would deal damage to you, prevent 1 of that damage. I was saying I think this is for a red deck, to play against a red deck, because burn spells are always targeting you, and red right now goblins, just 1/1s, boom, 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 prevent all the damage that would be dealt by those goblins. So that's
Prevent 1 damage from a creature. So I see that as a sideboard. Having a pair of those on the sideboard probably be a really smart thing to do if you are depending on what's going to be seen in Standard, I think John's right. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more Goblins, a lot more Mono Red, probably Mono Red, even Devotion, pulling in some of that stuff. But Orbital Boarding will be a great sideboard for that. Very nice. I already pulled the rare from this deck. I just got another foil.
Nice. So I got Pia and Karen Nalar, which is
Thopter.
Chandra's parents. If you know the story, if they're a legendary creature for 4, 2 colorless, 2 red. When Pia and Kiran Nalar enter the battlefield, put 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield. Here's some more Thopters. Yeah, suck it, Thopters. What? I don't know. There's most of the Thopter spells are blue, so this one's red. So maybe a blue-red Thopter deck would be good.
Like I said, is it?
There is a 3 casting cost ability here. Says sacrifice an artifact, which is obviously the Thopters would be a great choice for that. Pia and Kiran Nalar deal 2 damage to target creature or player. So you attack with, let's say you had 6 Thopters, attack for 6, and then you could potentially sack all of them because it's not a tap ability. Pay 3, sack 2 damage. Pay 3, sack 2 damage. Pay 3, sack 2 damage. Over, yeah, there's a ton of sack outlets here, and especially for Thopters, that's going to be kind of big, I think.
So, talking about card draw a lot, another card that I think is going to see a lot of play that I really love is Magmatic Insight. It's just an uncommon, 1 red sorcery. As additional cost, you have to discard a land card, but then you draw 2 cards. This is a great late game card for your red deck because you got the land you need, you have the stuff that you want out there as far as mana goes, and so you just need more instant sorceries, whatever else. You discard one of the spare lands in your hand, you draw 2 cards. You get 4 of these in a deck, you play 2 in a turn. It's really convenient, really versatile, great play here.
I pulled Mage Ring Responder. I dislike this card.
Yeah,
I don't
I
like
agree.
it. It's Mage Ring Responder doesn't untap during its untap step. Yeah, unless you pay 7. You pay 7 and it'll untap. That's its ability. It has another ability. Whenever Mage Ring Responder attacks, it deals 7 damage to target creature defending player control. So not only does it do its own 7 damage, but it deals additional 7 damage to one of your opponent's creatures. So not my favorite. It's really expensive. It's a 7 casting cost artifact creature, which is just like, no.
If you could give him Vigilance, it'd be really cool to be able to attack with him and start clearing your opponent's side of the board. But you have to find a way to give him Vigilance, so you're going to see him, if you see him, in some white decks most likely. But beyond that, I'm not a fan of him. And speaking of things that I'm so on, I'm a better fan of this guy, but I'm so on him.
What? This card's awesome. No.
He's great, but he's great.
Well, explain
once.
what it is. Tell him what it is.
So Hixus Prison Warden, he's a 5 cost, he has Flash, which is awesome. If he didn't have Flash, he'd be terrible. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, if Hixus Prison Warden entered the battlefield this turn, exile that creature until Hixus leaves the battlefield. So you got your Journey to Nowheres, not Journey to Nowhere, Oblivion Rings, your what are the
But
creatures
it can
that
exile
come in?
multiple creatures.
Right, so
every
it's
turn
basically
it
those,
can exile.
but it can do a ton of them.
Brave the Sands.
So
It can block an additional creature.
but this is when he enters the battlefield, though. So it's only the one time when he comes into the battlefield, and so it's cool if they have a lot of things attack you. You find a way out of it. You play him. You flash him.
Yeah, I guess that wouldn't work with Brave the Sands.
They have to deal damage to you, which is you have to take the damage first, and then if he leaves, all that stuff comes back.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's kind of cool. I think it'd be kind of cool maybe as a general to be able to play him over and over and over again in EDH, but
All right,
I'm so on
a
him.
few cards. Right here we have Chief of the Foundry. This is an uncommon. It's an artifact for 3, artifact creature construct. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1, and it's a 2/3. This is going to be in your Thopter deck. Yeah, most definitely people are going to be playing that in their Thopter deck. If you're not playing that in your Thopter deck, I recommend you play that in your Thopter deck. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Also, I've got a Harbinger of the Tides was my rare that I pulled. It's a Merfolk Wizard. It's a 2/2 for 2 blue. You may cast Harbinger of the Tides as though it had Flash if you pay 2 more to cast it. So you can pay 4 and play a 2/2 with Flash. And when Harbinger of the Tides enters the battlefield, you may return target tap creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. So, boom, Flash, return one of their creatures, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much the best way to use it. Probably would be with the Flash ability. You're going to use this probably later game. You're not going to use this second turn. I mean, I guess you could.
Yeah.
But most people are probably going to wait and use that
You want
flash
to use that
ability.
flash ability. That's really the goal of it. So a couple of uncommons I want to talk about. First of all, Thornmore Archer. Nothing much. I mean, the creature itself is a 1/2 for 1, which is nice to be able to get that 2 toughness in early. And when he attacks, each opponent who doesn't control an elf loses a life. That's really nice. But one other thing, again, talking about just kind of the flavor of the set, seeing black elves coming back is an interesting thing. I guess in the storyline, there's actually combat between Nissa and some other elves.
Yeah.
But yeah, so dark elves coming out and seeing that flavor is kind of fun. Black-green elf is going to be probably a tribal standard that you're going to be seeing soon. I also want to, I'm going to go with my next
I
one
want
here.
this guy.
Yeah, so Fairy Miscreant is a 1/1 flyer. When he enters the battlefield, if you control another creature named Fairy Miscreant, draw a card.
Terrible.
I love
Terror-bad.
it.
No, it's terror-bad.
So good.
It's terror-bad.
So again, if you can clone it or you can find a way to copy it, I was talking about Mimic Bats. So it's an older card,
Okay,
but you can
wow.
maybe make copies of it. So you just draw a card, draw a card, draw a card, draw a card, draw a card.
Okay.
I love these guys.
That would be, yeah, that's a good combo. In standard, though, that's not going to see much play.
It's a 1/1 flying for 1.
But you're not going
It's
to
a
get that
1/1
draw.
flying.
I mean, he's as good as a Suntail Hawk, then. You know what I mean? Like, you're never going to get the other 4, or the other 3, I mean.
Well,
It's going to be rare.
yeah, maybe you'll never get.
Well,
the
I
other
never
three.
do. Yeah, that's right. So I'm not going to play that card. Maybe you do. I don't know. Whatever.
He's got something good, so I'm gonna talk about him first.
there we
So,
go.
Hangerback Walker. It's a double X, so it's inappropriate. No, XX.
No, that would be 3 X's.
And he enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. So what you got to pay, however much you pay, half that. That's how many +1/+1 counters you get. You can pay 1 and tap him to put another +1/+1 counter on him. But
Awesome.
the key here is when he dies, however many counters he has on him, you put that many 1/1 flying Thopters into play.
Play 4 of that in your Thopter deck.
Yes.
Because you can put that out second turn. And with 1 on it, fine, whatever. And then every turn you can add another thing to it.
Or beyond the Thopter deck, play
If
that
it
in
dies,
your
oh well.
sack deck. So you want to sacrifice things, you have a reason to get rid of them. Use this for your sack outlet.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden you
Tokens.
get Thopters galore
Yep.
for your sack outlet. So yeah, this guy's going to see really versatile. He himself
Yes.
is not that great, but he's going to
Oh,
combo
he's
great
so
with
good.
a lot of things.
There's
But-
so many
but
people
he
that
will
don't want to attack.
combo.
Another great combo with this guy is if you've got 1 mana open, his tap ability, as long as he has gone through Summon and Sickness already, you can put him in play, block, after the block, then tap him to add a counter to make him bigger. So that's a pretty good combo, I think.
Really
lot of
versatile
people-
card.
Yeah,
A lot
really
of good
good.
uses with him.
I see a lot of people playing that. I pulled Nissa.
Woo!
All right,
Another
Nissa
Planeswalker.
Vastwood Seer and Nissa Sage Animist. This card rocks, okay? This is probably one of the better Planeswalkers, I think, in my opinion. I think Gideon and Nissa are my favorite out of this
So good.
set. Okay, so Nissa's ability. She's a legendary elf scout to begin with, okay? She's a 2/2 for 3, 2 colors, 1 green. When Nissa Vastwood Seer enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic forest card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands, exile Nissa, then return her to play transformed as Nissa Sage Animist. Alright, so she's a Planeswalker now, and she's got 3 abilities. She does have an ultimate, a -7 ability,
Mhm.
a -2 ability, and a +1 ability. A +1 is reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it into onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put it in your hand. Oh, also worth noting, she starts off at 3 loyalty counters. Her -2 is put a legendary 4/4 green elemental creature token named Ashaya, the Awoken World, onto the battlefield. I've never heard of Ashaya before. Have you ever heard of Ashaya?
No.
Never heard of Ashaya. Alright, well, apparently there's a token named Ashaya, the Awoken World, somewhere out there. We haven't pulled it yet. We haven't pulled the token. There's got to be a token out there.
There's probably, yeah.
Yeah. Untap. Her -7 is untap up to 6 target lands. They become 6/6 elemental creatures. They are still lands.
6/6 creatures. Okay, so that's ridiculous and that's awesome. The only trepidation that I ever have whenever you start doing, like, making lands creatures is all of a sudden your kill creature cards can start taking out lands as well. So if those lands were super important to you for whatever reason, people can start, doom blading or whatever other kill creature cards you young whippersnappers are playing these days. So
Young whippersnappers.
I pulled the Despoiler of Souls. He's 2 black, and he can't block, and he's a 3/1. So if you have a really strong, like I have a red-black aggro deck, I might play him in this. More than anything else, he has 2 black. Exile 2 other creature cards from your graveyard. Return the Spoiler of Souls from your graveyard to the battlefield. That is very, I use it a lot, versatile. A lot of really good stuff you can do with that. Personally, I'm probably going to put a couple of these guys in my aggro deck because if you run out of creatures on the board, it's really nice to be able to use this guy to be pulled back on the battlefield from the graveyard. So unless people are exiling him, you do always have the opportunity to bring him back and play and at least have a creature on the board. He's not great. He's not going to break your piggy bank. He might even be a 50-cent rare, but useful. In certain situations, you'd be able to use him.
Okay, I've got a Terabad card here.
Terabad.
Terrible. Molten Vortex. It's a 1 casting cost enchantment, so you can get this out first turn, and then go ahead and pay 1 to discard a land. Molten Vortex deals 2 damage to target creature or player. So I could totally see play 4 of this card and just all mountains.
Okay, it's funny that you say that because when I saw that card, I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, the only way I really see that getting good play is if you got 4 of those and all mountains.
I'm going to give it a shot, Steve. I'm going to build an all forest and Molten Vortex deck. I'll throw a few burn spells in there too, I think.
It's a late game card. That's
What?
all it really is.
No.
I don't
Is
know
it?
why it is a 1 cost, but if it's 7th turn and you have all the mana you need and you still have 3 mana in your hand, you're getting flooded. You're like, I got too much mana going on. It's nice to be able to make use of them. Pay a red, discard it, deal 2 damage. But that's a pretty specific situation. It's not a great card.
No, it's not. All right.
One Thopter with a Thopter Engineer here. So yeah, when Thopter Engineer enters the battlefield, put a Thopter on play, and then artifact creatures you control have haste. So nice. In your Thopter deck, artifact creatures you control have haste. So.
Ooh, you got a mythic.
I did get a mythic.
All right, go ahead.
Woodland Bellower. When Woodland Bellower enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a non-legendary green creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less, put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle your library.
Really good.
He's a 6/5. Yes, he is
Yeah.
really good. Because you can put things like
It's a green tutor.
Nissa onto the battlefield.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I didn't even. No, legendary.
Oh, non-legendary. You're
Can't
right.
do that.
You can't put
Psych.
Nissa on there. But still.
I caught you there, didn't I? All right.
There are a lot of really
Yes.
good creatures. Honored Hierarch,
Courser of
like
Crufix,
yeah,
Boon
absolutely.
Satyr, a lot of the. This is the only green tutor that I know of.
There's also Wayfaring Tutor.
Well,
there's another
in
green
standard,
one.
in
Oh,
standard right now.
yeah.
This
Yeah,
is the
in
only
standard.
tutor in standard right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, in other formats, there's
Yeah.
definitely. I'm sorry, in standard. So I pulled Vryn, a Wingmare. So it's a Pegasus. It's a rare Pegasus. I think this is the first time I've seen a rare Pegasus. Usually they're like commons, right? So flying, non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. So if you're playing all creatures, this is great.
That's the Suck It Spell Mastery card.
That's right. It's a 2/1 for 3. Don't like how much it costs. I don't think its abilities are really worth the amount that it costs. But if you're building a deck around creature spells, it's probably worth it.
Yeah,
if you're
it's
playing
like,
for
more than anything, what you're going to want, is to get more than one out there, and it's really going to put a hamper in people doing things on your turn, or on people doing things in response to your attack. Counter spells, that is actually pretty versatile. I enjoy that card, but it's more of a reactionary card. You have that card out there as a reaction to what other people might be playing against you, so it's good. Play more than 1, play more than 2, play at least 3 in a deck if you're going to play it, but some good
I
stuff
would,
there.
if you're gonna play that card, I'd play 4.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would as well.
if you can make your opponent their spells cost 4 more to cast, great.
Right.
Play blue white, add clones in there too, and then like really mess them up. Just like your spells cost 7 more to cast. Well, that's too bad. I guess I'll just cast a creature spell. Yeah, I don't think it's very good. So, because their creature spells are still going to cost a lot, and
Right.
you've got a 2/1 flyer. That's not going to do much. So, I've got Relic Seeker. Relic Seeker has Renown. It's a 2/2 for 2, 1 colorless, 1 white. And when Relic Seeker becomes Renowned, you may search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle your library. This is a great card. You can go get an equipment card. There's a new equipment out right now.
There's a ridiculous equipment.
There's a ridiculous. It's a one casting cost,
and
one equip, and it gets plus one for every enchantment in play.
It's so good.
I was really hoping we'd saw it. We haven't seen it the whole time.
There's one pack left.
You pulled something good. Okay, so that's a 2/2 soldier. So that could really do well on a soldier deck. I've got a soldier deck. I might go ahead and play that card in it. It's pretty decent.
I was talking earlier about Is It Thopters, so red blue Thopters. We have Reclusive Artificer, 2/3 haste. It's an uncommon. It's a 4 cost, and when it enters the battlefield, you can have it deal damage to target creature equal to the number of artifacts you control. So you just spammed in your Thopters, and then you play a Reclusive Artificer, and you can fry somebody or do a creature equal to the amount of artifacts in play. It's a pretty good card if you have a Thopter deck going on there. So I like that. Do you want to talk about yours first?
No, I want you to talk about that card. Yeah.
Archangel
amazing.
of Tides. Big fan of Archangel of Tides. 3 whites, 1 colorless. So the tough part is getting all 3 of those planes out there, getting 3 white there. There's a whole lot of 2 colored lands out there now, but it's great for mono white devotion if you're playing that. Although I don't think that's really a common thing right now. But
there's a little bit, I'm sure. But
flying. As long as it's untapped, creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures.
Break the sands?
As long as Archangel of Tides is attacking, creatures can't block unless the controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. It's a 3/5. It's what I really love about it is it's not legendary. So you can get 4 of these out.
Yep.
And now that cost is 4.
Yep.
Then you can toss in, not standard, but in modern, you can toss in like Ghostly Prison, and what's the blue one? Propaganda. Propaganda, and all of a sudden, if people want to attack you, they have 100 gobs in play. But for one of those goblins to attack you, they have to pay 8 per goblin. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I love Archangel of Tides.
That's ridiculous. Yep.
So talking on flavor before we get to our last rare here, something on flavor. What I love about the story. You see the Archangel of Tides here. I'll show it to you, but John's probably gonna have a nice big picture of it on the video itself. She actually has like a crown thing that comes down and like tilts out to the side like that. That is the crown that one Liliana Vess wears, and you can see her taking it from the Archangel of Tides in the card Unholy Hunger. So Unholy Hunger is a common. You can look up the what it does yourself at once, but in the background you can see Liliana's zombies killing the Archangel of Tide and Liliana donning that crown thing. So really cool flavor going on there. Yeah, you can take a look. You can see what Liliana's doing in the back there, or in the front. So
nice.
Yeah, so cool
Very
flavor.
nice.
You can see the Archangel of Tides dying if you ever want to see that.
This is the last rare. Knight of the White Orchid. This is a reprint. I don't know if you're familiar with this one. Okay. Yeah, it's a human knight, a 2/2 for 2 white to cast. First strike, when Knight of the White Orchid enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than you, you may search your library for a plains card and put it on the battlefield and shuffle your library. Really good. I haven't seen a card like this in a long time. It's been 6 years, I think, since they've reprinted it.
Right.
It's sort of like a land tax, very similar, which has not been in standard for even longer.
But this was also a 2/2 with first strike.
Yeah, so if you're playing mono white and you're just tired of getting land screwed all the time, I suppose this would be good.
Well, not
and
to
it's
mention,
a 2/2 first strike.
Even if you just have second turn, and so it's third turn, you have 2 mana in play.
Yeah.
You play those 2 mana, you go get another land, and then you play your land for the turn, and all of a sudden you've jumped ahead of mana when you actually had second turn. So, great card. I like it a lot. So.
Okay, so out of the rares that we pulled and whatnot here, which do you think was the best rare that we pulled?
Oh, okay. Best as in what's going to get the most usage, or best what am I the most excited
Best
about?
overall card in Magic Origins. And let's keep it to standard for standard format.
For the standard format.
For standard format, what's the best card that? What's the card that's going to see the most play and have the most value?
I'm going to go with the Days Renewal. That's what it's called, right? The blue one that you can draw 7 cards over
That's
again.
your choice?
So that's my choice, mostly because there's a whole lot of prowess going on right now. I see a lot of prowess in standard.
Days Undoing.
Days
is what
Undoing,
you're talking
that's
about.
what it was. Yeah, Days Undoing. And so being able to get a couple of those prowess creatures out there, maybe you have that Djinn of Blades out there, and then you empty your hand of all these instant and sorceries cards, or all you have left in your hand are a couple of creatures and some land, and that's not what you want. You want to be able to trigger that prowess, you want to be able to get more of your creature's abilities out there. You let go of what you have, you draw 7 cards over again, you start over. Card draw is a big thing in this, but that's got the heaviest card draw. So I think that's probably, you're going to see that one a lot. It's only a 3 cost, really great usage there as far as price goes.
I actually think that it's the Archangel of Tides.
It's really good.
It's really good, yeah. I think that this card for forecasting cost 3/5 is, bar none, the best. I mean, if I would say that Nissa or Kythin or Gideon, whichever, are like a second. And here's why: it's because you can only have one legendary creature out in play, but with Angel of Tides, her ability stacks, so you can just put all 4 of them out.
My only hiccup
You
with
can
Archangel of
clone them
Tides
too. So.
is the 3 white. The fact that it's 3 white, and so that's going to be a little bit tough.
If you're playing mono white,
if you're
that's
playing
not
mono white,
gonna
that's
bother you
fine.
at
Yeah,
all.
that's true.
Yeah.
If you're playing mono white, that's just fine.
All right, so now that we've opened a full box of Magic Origins, how do you feel about the set? Do you think it's a good set? Do you think it's bad? What do you think?
I love it for a lot of reasons. First of all, I just love the flavor of it. I like getting the background of a lot of our planeswalkers. I love the flip cards. I love the art that's going on. I just watched Magic's panel at Comic-Con, and they were talking about that they're going to be focusing a lot more on story as things are coming out. So I think that Origins is a really good showing of how they're doing that and how they're focusing more on story. I really enjoy the new mechanics they're coming out with. I love Spell Mastery. I also like that they're giving you ideas on decks to be built, but not telling you you have to do anything. I think the Return to Ravnica block did the same type of thing, where they're like, here's some really cool mechanics. If you pair them with these other things, then it'll work out really well.
Yeah.
But you can also do some versatility. So, like the sack outlets, the Fopters, Spell Mastery, a lot of really cool mechanics that will get a lot of usage in the right situations.
Yep.
So, I love it. It's a great core block. Big fan. 2 thumbs to Origins. How about you, John?
I'm really glad with it, or happy with it. It's probably one of the best core sets I've seen ever. And they've gone out with a bang.
Yeah.
This is the last core set, and they knocked it out of the park, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Origins has by far been the best core set in 6 years, at least.
Yeah.
Since they started doing core sets, this is probably my favorite.
Absolutely.
So far. So I'm really happy with it. Thank you guys for watching. This is Legends of Lore here in Sandy, Oregon, and we're signing off. See you
Thanks,
later.
guys.